Hey, Danforths! Welcome to the Danforth Scholars 20th Anniversary Celebration honoring our first leader, Sharon Stahl. I am Jeffrey Matthews. My personal pronouns are he, him, his. I am professor of practice in performing arts in the College of Arts and Sciences and the director of the Danforth Scholars Program. In the wake of the Great Dune Fire at Camp Minnewanka in Michigan in 2017, the potential danger of that moment helped us to realize that we needed a way to get everyone's attention quickly. One of our scholars at the time, Jordan Hughes, suggested that we say, "Hey, Danforths," and every Danforth should holler back, "Hey, what?" Because, as Sharon Stahl has consistently reminded me over the years, Jeffrey, the Danforth Scholars are about community. I'd like everyone in this whole community under this tent tonight to follow the Danforth tradition with a big "hey, what?" So I'm going to say, "Hey, Danforths," and everybody under the tent say, "Hey, what?" We'll see how we do. Hey, Danforths! Hey, what? Thank you. That sounds great. Good for you. As we begin our evening together, I would like to send a special thank you to Emily Onstretch, Danforth Scholar Class of 2022, majoring in psychology and brain sciences, and minoring in political science and writing, for her tremendous help and splendid organizational skills in helping us put this evening together. Emily had something she wanted to holler at you. Thanks, Emily. And I also want to take a moment to give my very special thank you to our inimitable assistant director, Kirsten Smith, who amazes me daily. Kirsten tends to avoid the limelight. She kind of tells me everything I need to do and then gives me a gentle push in the direction I need to go. I could have done none of this without her. Thank you so much. To be in Kirsten's company is to experience someone living the motto, "My own self at my very best all the time." Thanks so much, Kirsten, for all that you do for the program and all that you do for our scholars. And we'll be hearing from Kirsten a little later this evening. I want to thank Julia Fish. Is Julia here? You see Julia? She's right there. Julia put together our logo and the program. She's a senior majoring in political science and history with a minor in design. And I also want to thank our fine Danforth pianists tonight for playing for us this evening. Dylan Mack, where's Dylan? Played that wonderful rendition of Vienna tonight. He's a second-year Danforth studying systems engineering at the McKelvey School. He's a great scholar and a very fine human being. And Oni Ador, a senior majoring in molecular biology, biochemistry, and with a minor in anthropology. She's a wonderful jazz pianist as well, by the by. When I imagine the future, I suspect that Oni will be attending the 30th Danforth Scholars Anniversary as one of those rare human beings with the initials MD and PhD after her name. No pressure, Oni. You're quite exceptional. I just wanted to say that tonight. The Danforth Scholars Program is now part of the Office of Scholar Programs, and our office is supervised by Rob Wild. Rob is here tonight. Where's Rob? There he is. Great. He's Associate Vice Chancellor and Dean of Students, and the OSP is headed by Associate Dean Julia Macias, who you can't see over there, who also serves as the director of the Rodriguez Scholars Program, Jonathan Solomon, who's the director of the Irvin Scholars, and Will Smith, who is our administrative coordinator who keeps the office humming. And it's great to see Jasmine Brooks is here tonight, an Irvin alum who served as our administrative coordinator for the past 2 years. Jazzy's now enrolled in the Brown School. I look forward to sharing with you the recent very good news about the Danforth Scholars Program, and I am so happy to say that Bob Virgil, who along with Andy Bursky is responsible for so very much of the good news. Bob and Andy worked as fundraisers for the Danforth Tribute and in the wake and the loss of Bill Danforth. And because of their good work, the university raised $71.5 million. And I smile as I say that because a good chunk of that goes to the Danforth Scholars Endowment. When Bob and Andy launched the tribute, the Danforth Scholars Endowment was $17.6 million, with a shortfall of $40 million being funded by other sources. And as of today, the Danforth Scholars Endowment has exceeded $32 million. And this includes 16 donors who are endowing named Danforth scholarships for 26 Danforth scholars. I'm deeply grateful to Bob, and Bob wanted to make some brief comments. He's leaving us before dinner this evening, but he wanted to make some brief comments. Please welcome the wonderful Bob Virgil. We've got stairs over here, Bob.
Jeffrey, thank you. And thanks to all of you for letting me be here. I had learned over the weekend that there was this reunion. I had no idea what to expect. And my goodness, I am overwhelmed by what I see. And I appreciate the chance to be here to say something about Bill Danforth. It's been a very, very special weekend. We've celebrated the life of Bill Danforth, all that he has meant to Washington University, St. Louis, really the nation, and it's been a wonderful weekend. As Jeff mentioned, we were able to announce the results of the Tribute to Bill Danforth campaign, and apart from the dollars, its real significance is the following. Number one, we've raised a lot of endowment for scholarships, especially for Danforth scholarships, and that means that the doors of Washington University are open even more widely for students of all backgrounds and circumstances. In other words, accessibility to Washington University has been improved as a result of that. Secondly, there's also been gifts received that will greatly enhance the experience of Washington University during the 4 years that Danforth scholars and other undergraduates are with us. My former student of accounting and my very close friend, fellow trustee John Daines, who's here tonight, made a wonderful commitment in his name and in memory of his late wife, Stephanie, to establish the Daines Success Fund, the largest of its kind in America as far as we know. And that will provide support for students beyond room, board, and tuition for those expenses that come along during the year, out-of-pocket expenses, that are necessary to participate fully in the Washington University experience. And the Daines Fund will be a great enhancement to the Washington University experience. So we've had a good result from the tribute, and I think it's a result fitting of this great and good man, Bill Danforth. I've thought of what I could tell all of you about Bill, and I'm not sure there's a whole lot because you know a lot about him. As a result of being Danforth Scholars, you've all done something that I've never done. I've never been to Camp Minnewanka, so you know a lot. You know a lot about Bill, and I think you have a sense of what he has meant, his life, his character. But I thought one thing that I could bring to you. You know Washington University today. You know, for example, this community here on the South 40. It feels almost to me like a Swiss village in the Alps. So you know Washington University today. You know the quality of advisement. You know the support for student activities and so on. You know how difficult it is to get to Washington University. You know how strong alumni relations are. I think you have a sense of that. Wasn't always that way. Let me take you back to 1972 when Bill became chancellor. He had been vice chancellor for medical affairs, and he was named the chancellor in 1972. Alumni relations were very frayed. There had been serious disruption of campus activity during the late 60s as a result of student unrest over the Vietnam War. And there had been some things very difficult for alumni to understand, such as buildings being trashed and burned and windows in Olin Library being broken out, the normal activities of classes and so on being disrupted. Alumni couldn't understand that. They couldn't accept that. And alumni relations were really frayed. I don't know exactly how many applications we had for the freshman class at that time. The freshman class wasn't a whole lot. It wasn't as large as today. I would guess it was in the neighborhood of 1,500 students. Today, what? You've been selected from applicants' pools of what, 30,000 or something like that? Bill and I, occasionally, we would joke to ourselves that back then we were admitting more students than applied. And it wasn't quite that thin, but it was not a whole lot more robust. We did not have the reputation then that we have today. We would wring our hands about Washington University in St. Louis being confused with Washington State or Washington Junior College in I don't know where. We didn't have the reputation. There was a South 40. I mention it that way because when I came as a student, as an MBA student in 1958, that's when I came here, there was no South 40. It was literally out here on the corner. It was literally a swamp. And then in the early 60s, the first dormitories were built. But in 1962, what there was here, it was a collection of buildings. I don't know how many, probably 10, 12, 14 dormitories plus Wohl Center. Discrete individual buildings, dormitories. It was not a community. It was not a community as you have today, and as I see when I walked here. So Bill became chancellor during those times. And he had the vision, I think, never said it, but he had the vision that in time, Washington University might become one of the great research universities in America. And he wanted that to happen because he knew it would be good for his home of St. Louis. And that was always on his mind. It was always on Bill's mind, St. Louis, and what Washington University can do for St. Louis. So he had this vision. And if I think one of the reasons he didn't state it, first of all, that would be his character. He wouldn't do that. But secondly, he probably knew people would react, "You're crazy. You must be smoking something." So he went to work. He went to work. And the very first thing he addressed, it wasn't raising money or anything like that. The very first thing he addressed was students and the quality of campus life. He went to work on building that applicant pool. He went to work on the staff, the people who he could rely on and trust to work on residential life and student activities and advising and so on. That was the first thing he did, and it took a long time. And when he retired 25 years later, or when he stepped down, he didn't retire. When he stepped down as chancellor 25 years later, and Mark Wrighton here succeeded him, Washington University then had reached his vision. But I'll tell you, it took all of those 25 years. It was not easy, but he just stayed with it. He just stayed with it. He just never faltered. I know there had to be times when his dauber was down, when he wondered about this and that, but he never showed it. And so he lifted up the rest of us. And the question is, how did he do it? One of the ways he did it is that he built a team, and he relied on other people, and he trusted them. He knew where he wanted to go, but he knew he could not do it all by himself. He knew he was not an expert in everything. He knew that he didn't have all the answers, that he was going to have to trust other people. And he got good people, and he supported them. He supported them all the way. And you know some of the names. You know the name of Jim McLeod. And that's a story in itself. What a human being Jim McLeod was. He had John Berg. And John went to work on admissions. He had John Shale, who put together the modern Washington University athletic program, the University Athletic Association. Those great coaches like Mark Edwards and Nancy Fahey and the others. He had Harry Kisker. Harry Kisker had been recruited from Lawrence University up there in Appleton, Wisconsin. And Harry understood student affairs. And a good part of the foundation for student affairs today is Harry Kisker. And he had Sharon Stahl. And I'm just so pleased that I gather tonight you're honoring her. And I'll tell you what a treasure she has been for Washington University. When Jim McLeod wanted to talk to someone about his ideas, you know who he talked to? He talked to Sharon Stahl. No one had a better understanding of what it meant, what undergraduates needed, what academic support they needed. No one had a better understanding of that than Sharon Stahl. And of course, you all know her. She's worked for so long on Danforth Scholars. You may not know some of what she did. She's the one who's responsible for you all going to Minnewanka. I don't know if you know that. But two or three years into the program, she went to Jim and she said, you know, something's missing. Something's missing. We're not building a live cohort with our Danforth scholars. We've got to do something when they arrive. Get them off by themselves. And that's where Minnewanka came from. And I'm told one of the things she insisted on is when you arrive, you had to put your telephones in a bag or something like that, and you couldn't use them for a week. That's a good idea. So I'm delighted you're recognizing her. She is a treasure. She is a Washington University treasure. I'm probably boring you, but I want to close with a story. And there's a message in it for all of you. I'm going to tell you about the last time I talked with Bill. My wife and I have a home in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, pretty remote territory. And she's a stroke victim. She has a pulmonary condition. So when the pandemic started, when it began to surface, our kids said, "Mom and Dad, you got to get out of the retirement community where you live. Go on up to the Upper Peninsula." So we did, thinking we would be up there for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. We ended up being there a year. And I would try to call Bill every 3 weeks or so just to talk with him. And my birthday is August 26th. And a couple of days before my birthday, this would have been 2020. I got a call from the woman who had been his longtime assistant, saying that Bill wanted to call me on my birthday. Well, the call didn't come. And so mid-afternoon, I called him. And by that time, it was very difficult to have a conversation with Bill. He wasn't feeling the 100%. His hearing was awful. And his voice was very quiet, very low and deep. So I began talking. It's my birthday and what we were doing and so forth and so on. And then to try to stimulate conversation, I said, "Bill, if you were the chancellor today during this pandemic, what would you be thinking?" And there was a long pause. It seemed like an hour. It wasn't, but there was a long pause. And I was just about to jump in and say something to move it along. And I heard him say the following in this very low voice: "Bob, I would be thinking about the young people." So there he was. He was 3 weeks away from dying. And he was thinking about the students, about the young people, he sometimes called them. He loved the students. When he was chancellor, he loved to be out among them. You've heard the stories. You've seen the pictures. He loved that. He was optimistic. He was, Bill, one of my recollections of him, he was very optimistic about the future, no matter what was going on. And the source of his optimism were young people, students. He had this abiding faith that you young people, grounded in this great experience you have at Washington University, that he did so much to bring about, that you'd graduate and you go out in the world and you'll do great things and you'll make the world better for humankind. And among those young people, I dare say, you Danforth scholars are special in that regard, because you carry his name and you're his legacy. And he knows that you're going to go out from Washington University and you're going to do great things and you're going to make the world a better place. Thanks for letting me talk about Bill Danforth.
Thanks so very much, Bob, and thanks for all that you've done for WashU. Let's eat. We're going to have dinner, and then we've got a really fun program planned for you. So if everybody can find their place at the table, we'll have dinner. We may have a short period of time for dinner because we've got a lot of programming for you. So enjoy. Hey, Danforths! I want to move the program along. I know you're still eating, but I'm concerned that some weather may be coming in before we finish this evening, and I would hate to have thunder showers happen while we're hearing our special guest. So I'm going to move the program forward with your indulgence today. Welcome back to the rest of the evening's activities. Allow me to begin with a commercial break. First I want to say, before I do that, first I want to say thank you to Bon Appetit, who has been such a wonderful company for the university, keeping us fed through really hard times. We are most grateful to you. So my commercial break is this. Forgive me for this shameless plug, but because there are parents and alumni with us this evening, I wanted to take a moment to let you know about the APP program, the Alumni and Parents Admissions Program. This is a way for alumni and parents to become involved in helping to find the best students for WashU. Through this program, alumni and parent volunteers can help represent WashU at college fairs, serve as WashU ambassadors in their communities as well. If you're interested in helping us out with this program, check out the website. Also, I hope that all of our alums have received an invitation to join HiveBright, a new and exciting online platform we're using to connect our scholar community across the years and across the globe. I hope you will all join HiveBright and help us to build and strengthen our community. Now, before we really get going, I want to acknowledge the fact that we've been through some difficult times. I want to say to our scholars, we honor you as you are. And whatever your country of origin, skin color, personal faith or belief system, sexual orientation, identity, or ability, you belong here. And it is our sincere hope that you truly enjoy that feeling of belonging. It's deeply important to us that all of you feel safe in this community, and we are here to support you. I wanted to mention that Dean Jill Stratton, who is now at Vanderbilt, is watching this evening and wants to send her best to all of you that know her. I'm so indebted to Jill because she was such a terrific mentor for me when I was getting going with the program, and I'm just so deeply, deeply grateful to her. Washington University's Chancellor Emeritus Mark Wrighton, who served as Chancellor for 24 years, and Washington University's former First Lady, Risa Zwirling, are here with us this evening. Chancellor Wrighton, okay, let's hear from him. Chancellor Wrighton is responsible for so much good that has happened to the university, and when I think of him, I think of the seemingly countless endowed professorships created under his watch and the incredible transformation of the physical plant of this campus. Cranes were in the air for many years with a tremendous amount of building during his tenure, and I took an opportunity to publicly tease Mark in a speech once, complaining that my shoes had gotten muddy as I walked past one of the many construction sites on the campus. 2 weeks after that speech, he presented me with a gift of a new pair of shoes. They're here. The finest, most well-made, most expensive shoes I have ever had. And I thought to myself, what a wonderful, thoughtful gift. That man is a class act. So tonight, I just wanted to say thank you for that. And I also wanted to let you know, Mark, that at that time when my shoes got muddy, my car got really muddy as well. So, I'm just saying. The generosity of the recent donors to the Danforth Scholars Program has been absolutely amazing. Danforth is about community, and the community of Washington University's alumni and friends has truly stepped up, ensuring a strong program for a very long time. George and Carol Bauer have stepped up, putting over $6 million into the program budget, enabling us now to have paid summer internships for our scholars, the new Bauer Leadership Academy, and the opportunity and funding to finally hire a full-time director. As an update for you, in the past few years, Kirsten and I have developed pillars for the program. Our pillars, thinking of the pillars, I should say we kept Bill Danforth as our lodestar and named our pillars as leadership and service, intellectual and creative acuity, diversity, and kindness. These virtues are what we look for in our candidates. And I'm pleased to say that the Danforth Scholars Program currently averages 3,000 candidates a year from students all over the planet. Enough said. I'm going to now allow our current scholar to speak. But I will say before she comes up, on our Danforth video, Bill Danforth said, "Building a community of scholars is not rocket science." But I thought I would let you meet a Danforth scholar tonight who's totally into rocket science and talk about her experience in our community. It is my great pleasure to introduce Caitlin Walker, who is a senior. She's majoring in electrical engineering and French with a minor in aerospace engineering. She is the founder, president, and program manager of WashU Rocketry, the rocket design team, and has served as the co-president of the Society of Women Engineers and programming chair for the Engineering Student Council. She hopes to create a more diverse and equitable aerospace industry, encouraging those with underrepresented identities to pursue STEM, as well as initiating policy changes to develop more inclusive education and working environments. Please welcome Caitlin Walker.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a little bit shorter than Jeffrey. All right, can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. So when creating the Defining Danforth video for 2019, one of the questions we were asked was to define Danforth in one word. Now, I thought about this question for a long time. How could I possibly explain all of the feelings I have about the amazing Danforth community in a single word? I would think about this question while walking to and from class, but I could never find a word that fully encompassed how I felt. Everything I came up with was either too general to be specific to Danforth or too specific to fully encompass my feelings. I ended up choosing the word happiness, but happiness doesn't include how grateful I am to the community, nor how much it has taught me, nor how much I have grown thanks to Danforth. To explain how grateful I am to Danforth, I need to start at high school. In high school, I was heavily involved due to wanting to get into a good college. While I ended up enjoying and learning from the extracurriculars I did, my main purpose in joining them was to bolster my college application. With this mindset, high school was a succession of checking boxes on my way to my goal, college. This isn't to say that I didn't enjoy high school, I definitely did, but more to explain that I viewed education as a series of events that needed to be completed, but not necessarily enjoyed. After applying to college and getting into Danforth, I felt that I had finally checked the big box. I got into college and managed to get an incredible scholarship. With this goal complete, I started to focus on the next big box to check, get a good job. This led me to thinking of college as another series of boxes that needed to be checked, just like in high school. Get good grades, join extracurriculars, get leadership positions, all in the hopes of getting a good job. Now, looking back on this, I do recognize this may seem robotic and possibly a very different mindset from what you might have had going into college. While I heard student leaders, administration, and even Jeffrey and Kirsten describe college as a time to learn about yourself, I took it as an idealistic view that didn't encompass the main purpose, to get a good job. Now might be the right time to explain that I'm an engineering major. I've always loved delving into problems, thinking critically, and working to find solutions. Because of this, I tend to think more pragmatically about things, which can be both good and bad. I had been taking college at face value and not considering applying those critical thinking skills to learning more about myself. Enter the Danforth community. I have always said that what ties Danforths together is passion, not necessarily for a certain domain or interest, but passion to make the world a better place. As I talked with Danforths throughout my first year, I noticed that many of them were working to understand their identities, joining or creating groups based on their identities, and investigating how the systems we live in affect us. This is what made me question the true purpose, or at least my purpose in college. These incredible human beings were questioning things to improve themselves and grow as people. In my mind up until this point, college was for studying, going to class, and doing extracurriculars. But they viewed college through a completely different lens, an opportunity to learn from their fellow students, to more deeply understand themselves, and to grow as a result of those experiences. Now, I will say my original view of college was much easier to accomplish. Getting good grades, doing extracurriculars, all completely doable given time management skills. But investigating my personhood was a totally different realm that I had very little experience with. Growing up, I often heard people say that you will learn new things about yourself as time goes on. But I never really truly understood that statement until interacting with my fellow Danforths. I had always assumed that identities were placed on me and not something to claim for my own, beyond understanding my own privileges. And Danforth has taught me better. They showed me that college is for exploring and growing. After learning this lesson, I started to feel more connected with the Danforth community. I felt that by changing my mindset, I could now embark on this journey with my fellow Danforths. Because of this, I have learned so much about the institutions I interact with every day, about how to question my values, and how to be proud of who I am. The best example I have of this is a very simple one. After the murder of George Floyd, the Danforth community decided to have dialogues where everyone in the community could share their thoughts and feelings about the violence against Black people in America. I helped with creating the questions for these sessions, along with leading the sessions, and I hope that they would provide some comfort to those hurting in our community. I also hope to learn how I, as a white person, could help our community without taking away the time and space for people of color to speak. And Dakota Jennifer said something during these conversations that I will never forget. She said, "I wish more people had checked in on me." Something so simple, so obvious, I didn't even think about it. I had donated to organizations, signed petitions, attended a protest, and while all those things are good, I was thinking way too big. I should have first and foremost checked in on my friends. And I am immensely grateful to Dakota for teaching me this lesson. In addition to learning about how to support those hurt by our institutions, Danforth has taught me how to grapple with those institutions themselves. As a woman in engineering, I have gotten used to the mansplaining, to being questioned when I come up with ideas, and having to prove myself as an engineer. And I never expected these things to change. But my fellow Danforths gave me the inspiration to not suffer through the cards I have been dealt, but to actively change the situation which deals me these cards. By this I mean changing the situation myself and other women engineers are put into to make them better. Inspired by the other Danforths who continually work to improve different parts of WashU and the community, I decided to work on McKelvey, the engineering school. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the McKelvey Engineering School, but unfortunately it isn't immune to the bias against minoritized groups in engineering. For me, actively changing the situation has been through founding Woo Rocketry, a rocket design team. My experience with design teams on campus is what led to my creation of Woo Rocketry, specifically the lack of diversity and inclusion within the design teams on campus. I saw disproportionately low numbers of women, minoritized races, and LGBTQ+ people on these design teams, especially on the electronic side of these design teams where I usually was as an electrical engineer. During my first year on another design team, the electronics team started off with 3 women, and then slowly trickled down to just me as the only woman on the electronics team after 2 months. In an effort to combat this, I created Woo Rocketry. Woo Rocketry is a rocket design team that competes at NASA and creates 8-foot-tall rockets with payloads meant to simulate NASA missions like the Perseverance mission on Mars. Now, interest in this group was fairly easy to get. All I had to say was NASA and rocket, and everyone was interested. My hope, though, was to inspire people to believe that they could work in aerospace and create an environment where minoritized people in engineering could feel comfortable joining. I did this by advertising at different groups like Society of Women Engineers, where I was also president, and actively encouraging minoritized people to apply to our team. I am proud to say that our efforts seem to have worked, with 9 out of our 24 members being women this year. More than just getting people on the team, though, it was about mentorship, because I wanted my fellow women engineers to feel comfortable talking to the president of the group, asking me questions, bringing up any concerns that they have whenever they may arise. And because of this mentorship on the team, we have created a wonderful community that often reminds me of the connection in Danforth, where growth, communication, and honesty are essential. Now, after writing this speech, I think I have a better word to describe my feelings towards Danforth. It's what Danforth has encouraged me to do throughout my college career, and what I hope to have encouraged in others: growth. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much, Caitlin. We moved our anniversary to this weekend because it seemed appropriate to coincide with the memorial service for Bill Danforth. And although many of you attended the service this morning and had the opportunity to hear Danforth scholar Dakota Jennifer deliver her poem, I thought I would ask Dakota to share it again with all of us this evening. It really brought tears to my eyes this morning in listening to her. Dakota is a senior, majoring in English and with a creative writing concentration, and minoring in American culture studies and sociology. She is a regular contributor to Student Life, is a member of the singing group Sensations, and enjoys doing theater. She's interested in spreading awareness of social justice issues through writing and education. Dakota's voice is a very important voice in our community. Please welcome to the stage Dakota Jennifer.
Thank you. Okay, this poem is called At My Very Best. The people we love, the people who impact us, make marks on our lives, leave something behind. The love they've given, the acts of kindness, selfless gestures, favors, and check-ins, all of these things pile up, creating memories, leaving warmth in the chests of others. It is this warmth, this altruism and friendship that I have found in these 4 years through the legacy of Dr. Danforth. Gratitude is a funny blessing. We mourn the person who is gone and nearly forget about the reach of the compassion, kindness they left. Gratitude does not stop the moment we forget it. Our lives can be forever changed by only one moment of thanks. One thank you sent up into the air to a person whose life just nearly passed you by, for creating a space in which you feel whole. It is gratitude I have now for Dr. Danforth. Kindness is not only the precision of amiability. Kindness is about giving with no expectations, showing up with no motives, smiling when everyone else is frowning. Everyone can be nice, but not everyone can be kind. Kindness is a gift given out unsparingly that can mean unthinkable joy, peace, safety to another. It is kindness I have found among the Danforth scholars. Being loved by people, being supported and seen, makes a special kind of mark. The Danforth community has made me feel loved every day of my college career, and I see that not only as a privilege, but a gift from Dr. Danforth himself. The way I see it, this scholarship, these people who I consider family, would be unknown to me if it were not for Dr. William Danforth and the legacy he has left. Dr. Danforth has left behind something tremendous here. More than a campus or a program or a portrait, but love, community, the opposite of silence. The people I love the most here at WashU, the people who hold my hands, my heart, even the times I feel silly, stupid, unscholarly, I only know them because of Dr. Danforth, because of those who knew him, because of the legacy he left, the love that stayed in the air when he had gone. I am reminded constantly by that air, by Dr. Danforth's name, that who I am, even when I'm alone, when I am not perfect or proper or the WashU scholar, when I am Dakota Jennifer, the small black girl who just wants a home, a family in this faraway place, is okay. This community, my community reminds me that I do not have to be perfect. I do not have to be the smartest or the bravest or the happiest to be my own self at my very best all the time. I do not have to be anything but me trying, because as long as I'm striving to be better, as long as I'm doing all I can, loving as hard as possible, attempting to make a difference anywhere, everywhere, I am at my very best. We are all at our very best when we are seeking, striving, reaching for that. We must not stress ourselves on being the best, but on trying to be better, always. Striving to be louder, stronger, braver, smarter, kinder, so we can make a mark on the world in the way that Dr. Danforth has. So maybe one day the love we leave will reach those we have not even met yet, or those we have only smiled at while passing on campus. Dr. Danforth is more than just a man. He has created so much love here, so much light, and he continues to every day. I could never stop being grateful to him for that. I could never stop being my very best, even if just for him. Thank you.
Thanks, Dakota. Bill Danforth loved and truly cared for Washington University, and he always kept the intellectual growth and well-being of our students foremost in his mind. His impact on Washington University was tremendous, and tonight I can't help it but feel sentimental about Bill. This morning, the memorial service began with a chiming of the bells in Graham Chapel, a comforting sound and a sad sound simultaneously, and it really touched me. I was stung by it. A little later in the program, Wayne Fields said that Bill Danforth was not just a lover of Washington University, but of the idea of the university. And following that, Bob Virgil spoke of Bill Danforth standing tall and singing the alma mater. So I wanted to sing something for you. Dear alma mater, thy name is sweet to me. Our hearts are all for thee. Fair Washington, thy halls shall honored be. Throughout this great country, for all eternity, our Washington. Oh, we love the halls of ivy that surround us here today. And we will not forget, though we be far, far away, to the hallowed halls of ivy. Every voice will bid farewell and shimmer off in twilight like the old chapel bell. One day a hush will fall, the footsteps of us all will echo down the hall and disappear But as we sadly start our journeys far apart, a part of every heart will linger here, in the sacred halls of ivy, where we've lived and learned to know that through the years we'll see you in the sweet afterglow. Dear alma mater. That's for Bill. But tonight we're here to talk about Sharon Stahl, Danforth Scholars' first director. I've known and admired Sharon for a very long time. For me, she was always the go-to person I would speak with when I knew a student was in difficulty. I treasure her wisdom. She's one of those special people who's deeply invested in the life of the mind, while having the most wonderful and caring, thoughtful heart. She's been a mentor to me and countless others. As Bill Danforth said in the video, she was the perfect first leader. Everybody loved her. She's one of those great people that has made Washington University such a special place. One of our Danforth alums, Reynolds Whalen, would like to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone, and a very special hello to Dean Sharon Stahl. Dean Stahl, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there in person to celebrate with you and give you a giant hug, but I do have a very good excuse. My family just welcomed a brand new daughter, and I'm here taking care of my obligations there. But I did get dressed up as if I were there with you. This is probably what I've worn, and I even put on pants, which is not a guarantee anymore in these times of COVID and virtual attendance at things. For those I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Reynolds, and I am a Danforth Scholar, class of 2008. When Jeffrey reached out to me to ask if I would give a few remarks about my time on the program and Sharon's role, I said yes immediately. I was thrilled at the opportunity, and that was followed pretty quickly by a sense of wonder and how could I possibly capture the legacy of such an icon like Dean Stahl in just 5 to 10 minutes, or really any amount of time. So I started thinking on legacy and what that means. And I thought back to Dean Stahl's retirement. And when Dean Stahl retired, the Danforth Scholars presented her with a photo book of messages and photos and thoughts and memories and stories. And there were literally hundreds of them. And these were not just happy retirement Dean Stahl messages. These were long, detailed stories and words of advice and how they stuck with us over the years. These were really detailed, deep, meaningful messages. And it occurred to me when thinking about that legacy is the people you've inspired, multiplied by the people that they've inspired, all originated from your advice and coaching and mentoring. So when contemplating Dean Stahl's legacy, it's almost like contemplating the universe. It's just too vast to imagine. She's touched so many people directly, who've then touched so many more people. And it's just incredible to think about what that means for our communities, both the university community, but also just the wider community of our country and even the entire world. I have a quick anecdote to share that's going to sound familiar to many of you. And this is the first time that I met Dean Stahl. So I was on campus for the scholarship weekend the interview weekend for the Danforth Scholarship. And of course I was extremely nervous, and I'm walking up to Ursa's, then called Ursa's Lounge. I think it has a new name now. And as I approached the door, it flung wide open, and there was Dean Stahl, and she said, "Reynolds, I'm so glad you're here." And she just gave me the biggest hug. And, you know, in the moment I was in awe of this situation and also just a little confused. I'm like, who is this lady? How does she know my name? We haven't even met officially yet, and there are like 40 other students here. How does she even know it's me? Well, I came to find out later on, because I asked Dean Stahl this, that this was due to hours of examining and studying all of our applications, memorizing names, memorizing facts about us, putting the headshot we had submitted with the name, and spending a great deal of time looking at those ahead of the weekend so that she's ready to know who people are, where they come from, and what their story is. And this story that I just shared represents one of the most important lessons that I've learned from Dean Stahl, which is the value of personal relationships. And I've learned from that little anecdote and many other examples that building personal, one-on-one, deep, meaningful relationships with people takes a lot of time. It's a huge investment of time. But that ultimately, that is how we move forward in the world, and that is how we progress as a society. And it's worth every minute spent really getting to know another person, where they come from, what's important to them. And it really is one of the keys to a happy and successful life. And it's something I'm so grateful to you for, Dean Stahl, instilling that in me. And it's just made my life so much better. When Bill and Ibby set out to create this scholarship fund, it was really based, in my perspective, on a lot of their values, of especially that of integrity, of seeing the best in people and really cheering them on to be successful and whatever success means to them, and really meeting them where they are on their journey. I can't think of a better person than Dean Stahl to breathe that life, to breathe those values into the scholarship program, and to really get it going and make it what it is. In so many ways, she's inspired us by sharing her story and not being afraid, by the way, to tell us about the challenges she faced. That's one thing that will always stick with me, is Dean Stahl telling her journey and her story and how it was full of bumps in the road, and she didn't shy away from them. And she always was interested to hear in our challenges, because life's not just, it's not just roses. So she shared her story. She was the most important mentor on campus to so many of us. She opened her home for creating community, and I think this will sound familiar to many of you. She encouraged us to be our own selves at our very best at all times. Dean Stahl, the Danforth program to me is you. You are the Danforth program to me. You were the face of it. You established the culture of it, and it wouldn't be where it is today without your hard work, your dedication, and ultimately your belief in each and every one of us, and your belief that this scholarship was the launching point for all of us to go out and make the world a better place. And I'm here to tell you tonight that you, Dean Stahl, have made the world such a better place. And tonight, we honor you. Thank you.
Hi, Dean Stahl and Dr. Stahl.
Hi, Dean Stahl.
Hi, Dean Stahl.
Hello, Dean Stahl.
Hi, 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 Dean Stahl.
Thank you for calling me that February afternoon in 2012 to tell me I was a Danforth finalist. I distinctly remember being in shock, and I think I screamed, which is very unlike me. And without a doubt, that call and this opportunity changed my life, and I had some of my very best, dearest lifelong friends and fondest WashU memories as a result of that call and my acceptance into the Danforth program. And secondly, kind of on that note, another beautiful and special part of the Danforth program was the community it fostered, really the community that you fostered for us. I often associate those cozy, familial feelings with Danforth dinners at your home, truly some of the most special and meaningful parts of my college experience. So thank you so much. Wish I could be there with you all, but congratulations and hope to see you all soon.
This is Gideon Palti, Danforth Scholars Class of 2013. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you all, but just wanted to thank you for all your support over the years. Hope all is well.
Just taking a minute to celebrate you. So excited to send you a little message here. You know, I'm the first of my family to college. It's inextricably linked to meeting you, coming off that bus for Danforth Scholars Weekend, and just meeting this warm, wonderful soul who said, "Hi, Dustin." And I knew I'd have to go to WashU, and I'm so grateful that I did. So grateful that we met and that I've learned so much, and I'm so excited for our paths to cross again. See you soon.
Craig Origin, class of 2005. Thank you so much for all your help with the Danforth program. It was a wonderful experience. Congrats.
Hey, Josie Kressner from 08. Just wanted to pop in and say that one of the things I remember most about the Danforth program is your smiling face and kind words.
Dean Stahl, it's Brian Lee, MD class of 2004, 2007. Just want to thank you for everything you did and for the way that you ran the Danforth program. It really did profoundly affect my life and my career. I was able to take 3 years off and go to Harvard Law School and come back and still do residency because of the financial support and the flexibility from the program. So more than that, I appreciate your leadership and how you really cared for each of the scholars. So I hope you and Dr. Stahl are doing well. Just as an update, I'm now living in the Bay Area, practicing as an ophthalmologist. Married with 3 kids, and well, again, I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Hi, Dean Stahl. Congratulations to you and the whole Danforth program and community on this incredible milestone. I am so thankful just for everything that you have done for me and the others in my cohort and this entire amazing community. Ever since you gave me that call in early 2012 inviting me to join Danforth Scholars Finalist Weekend on campus. And since then, no matter where I'm living, no matter what I'm doing, I always keep a copy of I Dare You, the book you gave me and the rest of my cohort and all the other cohorts during our time at Minnewanka, just as a reminder to always be grateful for people like you and the communities that we have, and to always pay it forward, like the spirit of the Danforth program.
Hi, Dean Stahl. Congratulations on the 20th anniversary of the Danforth Scholars Program. So exciting. Just wanted to say thank you so much for all of your love and support that you've shown all the scholars over the past several years. I'm sure I speak for so many of us when I say you made my experience at WashU 10 times better and more meaningful. You were there for me during the hardest time of my life, both you and Dr. Stahl, without a second thought. And so I just wanted to say thank you, and please know I'll never forget it. It changed my life. So just can't thank you enough, and I hope you have a wonderful time at the anniversary celebration.
Just a quick little video to tell you how much I appreciate everything that you've done for me. You have played a foundational and crucial role in my life, from making sure that I wake up in the morning. We weren't always successful with that, but sometimes we were, to creating a buddy system for me and everything else. When I think about WashU, I think about you and how thankful I am to have you in my life. I wish you all the best and hope to see you soon.
Hi, Dean Stahl. When I was a freshman at Minnewanka, you read us an email that a recent Danforth alum had written, where she shared a quote from The Alchemist and said that it reminded her of Minnewanka. And the quote went something like, he would miss this place and all the good things he had learned, but he felt more confident in himself now, as though he could conquer the world. I thought about that quote a lot over my time at WashU and many times since then, because not only did that apply to the amazing experience that starting my college career at WashU at Minnewanka was, but it applied to my 4 years at WashU and my time as a Danforth Scholar. Thank you for helping to build this incredible community and for your leadership, guidance, and love from the minute that we stepped on campus.
Hi Dean Stahl, this is Arushi Palla from the class of 2014. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the Danforth Scholarship Program. WashU had such an important and incredible impact on my life, my career, and my journey so far, and you were a very instrumental part of that experience. Thank you always for your guidance, your support, and your smiling face, and I hope you're doing well. It's been so long since we last talked.
This is Nick Ravizolo. I graduated class of 2019. I'm going to try to be really quick here and sum up a lot of feelings in just a few sentences, but I want to say thank you for all of the work that you have done for the Danforth Scholars Program. To put it really, really simply, you know, it completely colored my college experience, and it is something that I still think about and use skills, draw upon my learnings from on a daily basis in my work and in my personal life. So thank you so much. It has had a huge impact on me.
Hi Dean Stahl, it's Lainey Turkish. I wanted to say thank you so much for all that you've done for me over the years and all that you've done for the entire Danforth Scholars Program. I'm really sorry and sad that I can't be there in person this weekend, but I know that the reunion will be wonderful and a huge success.
This is Monica, class of 2014. I so wish I could have been there this weekend for the anniversary event. It would have been great to see you. I'm actually on an overnight call right now at Hopkins. So I graduated medical school. I'm an intern here now in the internal medicine program. Got my Patagonia and everything, so it's official. Since we're sharing memories, I know I've told you this before, but I will just never forget how you encouraged me to go to med school when I was thinking about it, even though I was doubting myself. You know, I was interested, but I didn't take the pre-med classes on time. I was gonna have to do a post-bac, and I said, oh, is this even worth it? Am I gonna have a shot at really good programs? And you said, of course you are. Why would you question yourself, you know? And having that confidence from someone else, I think gave me the confidence in myself that I needed, and it's worked out great. I was student body president at Hopkins last year for med school, and so far I've really loved the program. I just am really enjoying being a doctor so far. And you know, back then, if somebody hadn't really encouraged me to do that, maybe who knows where I would be now. So I know I've told you before, but I just wanted to emphasize again how grateful I am to you, not only for that specific advice, but just all of the mentoring you gave me in the Danforth program. It was such an influential thing for me, and definitely one of the most meaningful things that I was involved in throughout college. And so I'm so grateful. Give my best to you. Please email me or call at any time. I would love to hear from you, and I hope you're doing well. Thanks.
When I was at WashU, I used to take dance classes to avoid going to the gym, and all of them were usually held in the women's building. So when Dean Stahl's office got moved to the women's building, one of the best parts of my day would be right before or right after dance class, stopping by to say hi.
I think often of a piece of advice you gave me sitting on a bench at Minnewanka. You told me that your life did not follow a straight line. Rather, you followed your passions, and eventually it all came together. I have let this advice guide some of my biggest decisions, and I can't say for certain, but I have a sneaking suspicion you may have been right. Thank you for this, and for being a mentor to me, and I know so many others.
Hi Dean Stahl, this is Lauren Berger from the class of 2017. I just wanted to thank you for everything you did for me and for the entire community of Danforth Scholars. Honestly, you're such a warm and thoughtful and kind leader, and being part of this scholarship program has truly had not only an impact on my college experience, but a lifelong impact. I still see many of the people and fellow Danforth Scholars to this very day, and they've become some of my dearest, closest friends and my inspirations in my everyday life. I am so grateful to be part of this program, and it would be nothing without your wonderful leadership and guidance. So thank you for everything, and I hope you have the most incredible time celebrating a truly wonderful feat of leading a 20th year celebration.
Hi, Dean Stahl. I wish I could be in St. Louis to celebrate this Danforth anniversary in person with you and with all of those who've been involved in the program over so many years. And I just wanted to take this little time to express once again how grateful I am to you and to the program, how much it's meant to me. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend.
Suzanne Thompson-Barnard, class of 2003. Dean Stahl, thank you so much for your dedication to all of your students. The Danforth Scholars Program is one of the main reasons why I chose WashU to begin with. And once I was there, you and your dedication and your confidence in me is a real reason why I was successful. Now I try to pay it forward and instill that same confidence in my team. So thank you for all that you do.
Hi, Dean Stahl. It's Martha Elster, class of 2010. I just wanted to send you really warm wishes. I'm so glad that they're able to put this together for you. I wanted to thank you for all of your support over the 4 years that Ellie and I were at WashU, for letting me transfer. I transferred halfway through freshman year and still letting me have the opportunity to join the Danforth Scholars, and certainly for all of your kindness and love over the 4 years we were at WashU.
This is Nicole Salowitz-Cortez, and this is my daughter Noelia. Hi! And I am so grateful that I get to raise her up with stories of the incredible, inspiring women like yourself that made me who I am.
Hi, Dean Stahl. Just wanted to say thank you for all of the years that you spent guiding and taking care of us. I know my experience at WashU wouldn't have been the same without you, and I still think of you as my fairy godmother through those years. We miss you, and I really hope that you're enjoying a well-deserved retirement. Thank you again, and sending so much love.
Hi, Dean Stahl. This is Monica Lim, and I'm calling from the Washington Medical Campus. I know it's been 7 years since when I first entered the Danforth Scholars Program, but I just want to thank you so much for making this program so special, for making us feel so loved from day one. I think it was mostly because of you that made the WashU community such a special place, and I just want to thank you for all the investment of time and love that you put into the community. And I think that energy really inspired me to stay here in St. Louis, but then also to try to love my community in the best ways that I can.
I wanted to say hello and thank you for everything you did as part of the Danforth program. By the way, this is Sasha, hopefully a future Danforth. Sorry that we will not be able to make it on October 2nd, but we hope to come back to campus soon.
Hi, Dean Stahl, it's Rory. I'm sending you lots of love in this celebration of you. I think for me, the memories that stick out the most are just your hugs throughout the years. A hug from Dean Stahl could make your worst day feel manageable, and the amount of support that you gave us all was incredible. I didn't mean to wear my Minnewanka sweatshirt for this video, but it worked out, and I think that's the other memory that I'll hold so dear, is being able to work with you as a counselor and being able to be at Minnewanka with you as a freshman as well, and just build community alongside you and build a space where we could all be our best selves all the time.
This is Zachary Gale, Danforth class of 2013. I don't think I could possibly summarize how much you've meant to me and how much you meant to me when I was at WashU and in the years that followed, but I guess I'll give it a shot. It's you who taught me, after 3 summers at Minnewanka, how to really be my own self at my very best all the time. You were there for me when I needed you the most, and you were there for me even when I didn't need you. Even when everything was going great, I knew you'd always be there for me anyway.
Thank you so much for the good memories.
Thinking of you. Hope you guys have a happy 20th year anniversary.
Thank you again for everything, and I really hope to see you soon. Giving you a big virtual hug. I hope that you're well, and I hope to see you soon.
I hope your family is doing well, and we send you really big, warm hugs.
Miss you.
I'm sending you so much love, and thank you for all that you've done throughout the years for all of us.
I miss you. Hope I get to see you soon in some way. And just spreading love to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, how incredibly touching.
Whenever Sharon was asked to give remarks at a meeting or event, she would always say, as long as I don't have to follow Tim Bono. Well, try following that. What an outpouring of affection and appreciation. You are so loved. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kirsten Smith, Assistant Director of the Danforth Scholars Program. Wow. Thank you. And Sharon, you may not realize this, but today is 20 years, almost exactly to the day, that I walked into your office to interview for a position in the College of Arts and Sciences, working with you on the pre-med advising program. So we're not only celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Danforth Scholars Program, but I'm personally celebrating my 20-year friendship with you, a friendship that's so incredibly dear to me. I remember clearly when I walked into your office all those years ago, I knew right away that we could be more than colleagues. That is, if you saw fit to hire me, and thank goodness you did, because working alongside you changed the trajectory of my life and my children's lives. In your office, you had bookcases filled with books. Some were academic, some were not. From the art on your wall, it was clear that you had a passion for all things French and Italian, and in particular food and wine. But there was one picture hanging on your wall that took me a while to appreciate. It was a black and white photograph of Rocky Marciano. I remember wondering, why in the world would this woman with such sophisticated, cultured, and intelligent tastes be a boxing fan? I don't remember the backstory of that photo, but over the years I came to appreciate that you're a lot like Rocky. He was considered one of the best heavyweights of all time. He was known to have the fiercest, quickest punch. And though your touch is much lighter, the ways in which you encourage, support, and challenge all who fall in your orbit has an equally profound impact. You inspire, you bestow confidence, you nurture. You're someone we should all be lucky enough to have in our corner. Reynolds spoke about the breadth of your legacy, one that spans the universe. Well, your legacy also has depth. I once heard a professor of education say that when you work with students, when you teach, when you advise, when you mentor, you touch infinity. What they learn from you, they pass to the next generation, and on it goes. Because of you, thousands of students are and will forever be making a difference in classrooms and hospitals, communities around the world, in so many fields of endeavor. You, my dear friend, have touched infinity. And now, everyone, Dean Stahl. How you do it on the stage. Well, first I will pour some water because, like Gerald Early, I'll dip into this water. Thank you, Kirsten. I will now tell you about Rocky Marciano. This person that I know quite well, Phil Stahl, gave me that picture. And when he handed it to me, he said, you know the special thing about Rocky Marciano? He knew when to quit. I'm afraid I didn't listen very well. I've lived with Phil for over 53 years now. And one of the things that you learn when you live with a scientist is the way that they organize how they give talks. And the kind of rule of thumb, maybe Mark can tell me whether or not this is really true. You tell people what you're going to say, you say it, and then you tell them what you said. So I'm going to tell you tonight a little bit about the history of the Danforth Scholars Program, The first thing that I'm going to do, though, is to thank a lot of people. And this program wouldn't be what it is without all of the people who worked to make it so special. And then I'm going to give you a charge for the future, because that's what Danforth Scholars are, the future. So first I'll do the thanks. Bear with me. So thank you, everyone in this room, for coming to celebrate the Danforth Scholars Program and the wonderful and amazing students who continue to honor the legacy of William H. and Elizabeth Gray Danforth, Bill and Ibby. Some of you came long distances to be here with us tonight, so welcome back, all of the alums. Among those who traveled to St. Louis for the evening is a founding cohort member from 1998 of the Danforth Scholars, Dr. Justin Bachman, a member of the cardiology faculty and instructor of medicine and health policy at Vanderbilt University. Welcome back, Justin. I can't see anything, so Justin, will you stand if you are in here? I remember those many years ago, Justin saying to me that he was thrilled to be named a Danforth because his goal was to become a cardiologist, just like Dr. Danforth. No better role model could you have had, Justin. And it's lovely to be back at Washington University. And I can't begin to express how amazing it is to see so many Danforth alumni. I would name you all, and I would tell your stories, but it was politely, somewhat politely, pointed out to me that I should be brief. So a very, very big welcome to the Danforth Scholars. Thank you for taking time out of your busy lives and being here tonight. And of course, welcome Danforth parents. Here I must name one person, Lisa Meekum Angstreich, who is the parent of Danforth scholar Emily Angstreich. Lisa is an alum, and she was my advisee. We've come full circle. Being part of the Danforth Scholars community is being part of a big, wonderful family that just keeps growing and growing. I am so grateful for everyone's presence here tonight, whether in this room or watching the stream. Welcome all live streamers, and if you are watching this later, we were all thinking of you and felt your spirit among us. I want to thank all the faculty, deans, and administrators, many of them here tonight. They are my friends and my colleagues who over the years supported the Danforth Scholars Program and helped to welcome the Danforth Scholars into the Washington University community. Of course, your welcome doesn't stop at the door. Throughout the Danforth Scholars' 4 years with us and beyond, you continue to mentor them, come to know them by name and story, and prepare them to have lives of meaning and purpose when they venture out into the world. You've done a great job. They're all doing amazing things and making real differences in all the places they are. I have so many people to thank this evening. Thank you, Jeffrey Matthews, for agreeing in 2015 to lead the Danforth Scholars Program and share your extraordinary talents. What a beautiful voice. That was so touching. And generous nature with these exceptional young people. Jill Stratton also deserves, hello Jill, I know you're watching, for her support and participation with the Danforths and her unmatchable commitment to student success. Thank you to Kirsten Smith for that amazing introduction, but also for your continuing commitment to the Danforth Scholars Program, serving as administrator par excellence for the program and also as an academic advisor to many Danforth students over the years. Kirsten, you've always made everything run smoothly, and made Jeffrey and me look far better than we deserved. We are forever We and the program are forever in your debt. Brian Wall, I hope you're watching. He isn't here tonight, but he will always be in our hearts. Brian was for many years the anchor of the Danforth spirit and the service trips that changed the lives of so many. Amy Lehman and Michelle Capio helped lay the foundation in the early years of the program, along with many behind-the-scenes supporters both on and off campus. Among them, Eva Stahl, my daughter, who was a 10-summer camper at Minnewanka, which is one of the reasons we're there. Mary Danforth Stillman, John Daines, Philip Stahl, and the late Marie Edding. Mary and I became colleagues and friends when we worked together in the college in 1992, and Mary generously served on the Scholars Selection Committee over the years and is now a member of the Board of Trustees and the founder of the Hawthorne Leadership School for Girls here in St. Louis. John Daines is a 1968 graduate of Olin Business School and member of the Board of Trustees, and generous supporter of not only the Danforth Scholars Program with both time and treasure, but a true champion of Washington University and a valued and treasured friend, as was his late wife, Stephanie. Marie Edding was a dear friend and neighbor of Bill and Ibby, and joined the Danforth Scholars at Minnewanka a number of times over the years. Bill was there most every summer we were there at Minnewanka and made such a huge impact, and I know that that's one of the things that the alumni really remember. Marie had been a Minnewanka camper herself as a young girl and knew Bill's grandfather, who trekked to Minnewanka every summer. To Philip Stahl, I am most grateful for so many things, including his willingness to be the official Camp Minnewanka photographer. Phil celebrates his 80th birthday on Monday. Yes, really, he's going to be 80. As many of you know, Mark Wrighton, trustees Bob Virgil and Andy Bursky, James McLeod, then Dean of the College and Vice Chancellor for Students, John Berg, admissions and financial aid wizard, among others, created the Danforth Scholars Program to honor Bill and Ibby's commitment to educating future leaders who would be committed to serving others. Many people honored that commitment by contributing to the program as it was launched in 1998. In 2023, we will celebrate the 25th anniversary of the program, and through the generosity of trustee George Bauer and his wife Carol, the program finds itself poised to launch a new era of leadership and scholarship and strengthen the vision Bill and Ibby had for the extraordinary things each Danforth scholar would do as she or he moved from WashU into the daunting challenges our world now holds. Many thanks to each of you for your vision, and a very special thank you to Chancellor Mark Wrighton and to his amazing partner, Risa Zwirling. Mark championed the program from inception and at every step along the way to bring us to where we are today. Thank you, Mark. Each fall, Mark and Risa invited the new cohort of Danforths into their home for a welcome dinner, a favorite memory for all Danforths, as well as an introduction to the bowling alley in Harbison House. Now, I want you to know that I was a little confused about tonight, and it's been a while since I've been back, so what would I naturally think? That we were going to Harbison House to have dinner with Mark and Risa, and then we were going to be bowling, and so I wore my bowling shoes. Thank you, Mark and Risa, for making every one of us always feel so special. In 1998, now we come to the history part. The thanks are kind of behind us. In 1998, James McLeod asked me to oversee the new Danforth Scholars Program. We should pause here to remember what an exceptional leader James McLeod was. Bill Danforth recognized his many talents and placed him to put them to very good use. Jim inspired us to be our best, and his visions for an extraordinary undergraduate education underpins much of the experience Washington University students now enjoy. Jim's influence cannot be overstated. Thursday, Jill Early gave the 10th annual James E. McLeod Memorial Lecture, which focuses on higher education. Professor Early pointed out Jim's extraordinary talent for building bridges when people of varying, sometimes opposing views can meet and establish common goals. That ability to embrace differences and channel disparate views into whole cloth was remarkable, and we are all grateful. It made us a better institution, and it made us better people. James McLeod's partner, Clara McLeod, is with us tonight, and we are indeed humbled by her presence. Clara. I was so honored that Jim asked me to be part of the Danforth program. Over my years at Washington University, I had watched the Danforths administer the community with grace, wisdom, and an infectious joie de vivre. Ibby was at every Graham Chapel lecture on Wednesdays at 11 and nurturing the Women's Society and various student efforts. Bill never seemed to be in his office in Brookings, but always crisscrossing the campus, stopping to chat with faculty and students or just offer that big smile of his and call you by your name. If it were evening, he might have been on his way to the South 40 to read a bedtime story. Students were at the center of whatever he did, one way or another. Initially, the Danforth Scholars Program was envisioned to be a scholarship program only for undergraduates. But the graduate schools saw the merit of having a leadership and scholarship-based program and lobbied to be included. So the first visit weekend, spring of 1999, and there's at least one person in the room who came then, Suzanne Thompson Barnard, who's here tonight, and undergraduate students, so included both graduate and undergraduate students, and Rich Smith, then chairman of anthropology, oversaw the interviews and the selection. Following that weekend, he pronounced it an impossible task. It was like choosing the best mango from a bowl of apples and oranges, comparing graduate students with undergraduates. So the following year, we held a visit weekend for only the undergraduates across the 5 schools, and the graduate schools did their own selection process. The weekly seminar has been a mainstay, and we tried more than one all-scholar service project, graduate and undergraduates, but schedules were very difficult to coordinate, so we abandoned that approach, and students pursued service opportunities, sometimes as a group, a Danforth group, and other times individually. And eventually, the scholars developed the Spring Break Service Project. I want to add here that the founding scholars and the subsequent cohorts from the first 5 years laid the foundation for the program of today. They were true pioneers, and their commitment to the ideals of the Danforth legacy made it possible for us to enhance the program further. About 5 years into the program, spurred by the successful approach of the John B. Irvin program that James McLeod directed, we felt that a pre-orientation program would offer a common experience that could become a touchstone for the remainder of the undergraduate years and beyond. We chose Camp Minnewanka as the site because of its connection to the Danforth family. In the 1920s, Bill Danforth's grandfather and 3 other community activists, they really were all activists, although I don't think at that time that's the way they would have described themselves. They established a summer camp for young people on the shores of Lake Michigan, about 40 minutes north of Muskegon. If you want a first-hand account of the experience of being a Minnewanka camper, you can talk to Georgia Bennington at the close of the evening. The goal of the camp was to provide an inspiring summer of friendship, team building, and self-reflection with the intent of building the leaders of tomorrow. The camp ethos values North American Native American traditions of respect for nature and each other. The motto, which became the mantra for the Danforth Scholars Program, my own self, at my very best, all the time, dovetails with the current 4 pillars you will find on the Danforth website. Jeffrey talked about them: leadership and service, scholarship and creativity, diversity and inclusion, kindness and generosity. If you ask any Danforth who graduated in 2008 or beyond, what is the most important element of the Danforth program, I believe nearly all of them would answer Camp Minnewanka. The bonding that occurs during those few days is remarkable. As one of the scholars commented to me, it's so special. It's like getting to know everyone without makeup. It's also a time to get to know yourself without makeup, and we help that along by collecting everyone's electronic devices when they get to Minnewanka. That same year, freshman Danforth students began living in the new Elizabeth Gray Danforth Hall, and the bonding that began at Minnewanka continued over the course of the freshman year in the residence hall. These were, at least from my perspective, watershed moments for the program. And now, thanks to the generosity of the Bowers Gift and their vision for developing tomorrow's leaders today, the program is blessed with another watershed moment that will have enormous impact. That, coupled with John Dane's scholarship fund to make possible access to all the riches of a Washington University education, no matter a student's financial circumstances, positions Danforth scholars to indeed be their own selves at their very best all the time, becoming the leaders the world sorely needs. I know Bill and Ibby would both be grateful and excited for the opportunities that the generosity of Carol and George Bauer and John Danes provide. Thank you, John. The essence of the success of the Danforth Scholars Program is community. It does take a village to assure the success of each of us. The Washington University faculty, staff, and administrators have provided that village, or what I like to call community of concern. That community holds high expectations, possesses a willingness to listen, to mentor, to encourage, and celebrate, and it provides an agar plate, a petri dish, for growth and reflection. And it has been my experience that the overarching tenet of all of these elements is kindness and empathy. This past year and a half, now nearly 2 years of a seemingly unending pandemic, continue to challenge us all. The climate crisis, the January 6th insurrection, the continuing political and cultural division, the gun violence, the social, economic, and racial injustices are all amplified by the pandemic. At times, it seems overwhelming. How do we find the path that leads us out of these troubled times into the light? How do we restore a sense of well-being that can be shared by all? We are all thinking about this, how to find a successful way forward. Last Monday, I read an article in the New York Times about Polly Murray, a very accomplished and influential person completely unknown to me. She was admired by Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Her legal studies informed and influenced Brown versus Board of Education. She was an activist, a legal scholar,
a feminist, a poet, and late in her life, an Episcopal priest. She was the first Black person to be named in 1946 a Deputy Attorney General in California. She was also the first Black person to receive a doctorate of juridical science from Yale Law School. I want to share with you a line from her poetry and a comment about her life from Anita Hill, who also graduated from Yale Law School. Pauli Murray wrote, "Hope is a song in a weary throat." Write it down in your mind and think about it. Hope is a song in a weary throat. It's a very pregnant line. Anita Hill commented about the challenges, setbacks, struggles, and successes of Pauli Murray and concluded, "It takes a lot of courage to be hopeful." That, I believe, is an apt descriptor for the Danforth Scholars, a community that has the courage to be hopeful. There are countless challenges facing us right now, but you have the tools to tackle these issues. You are the courageous hopefuls. This past year and a half of COVID has tested you, both figuratively and literally, in many ways. It has tested your determination, your ability to look beyond the moment, your commitment to see things through, your willingness to listen and strive to understand the needs of others. It has also nurtured your resilience, given you time for reflection, encouraged greater appreciation for friends and family, and revealed the importance of living each day fully as we experience the loss of many of our fellow citizens to the pandemic. So, as Bill Danforth's grandfather asked, what's next? Well, of course, if you are a current Danforth Scholar, you must first finish your education with passion and commitment. When you go out into the world beyond the boundaries of Washington University, you will pursue professions. Some of you will start families. You will live and work abroad or in a large city, a suburb, or a rural community. And Danforth alums, there are many. Some graduated from Washington University in 2000, and there are cohorts for every year following. What are they doing? All sorts of things. But the thing that stands out and what gives me the courage to hope is that they are making a difference, not just in positions of leaderships writ large, but in positions of everyday leadership. These everyday leadership commitments, contributions to local communities, have the potential to eventually bridge the divide in this country. We need to start where we live. We need to listen to our friends and neighbors, even when it's hard to listen. We need to go to town meetings, work at the food pantry, volunteer at the elementary school, grab something from the grocery store for the bake sale if we don't have time to bake. We need to be present. We need to lend a hand. We need to get to know the people, really know the people around us and beyond us, so that we can rebuild a sense of community that is inclusive no matter how diverse its elements. I write to my senators and representatives, and I will continue to do so, but I have come to realize that change in our society begins with me as an active member of my community. All these challenges present a call to arms for the courageous hopefuls. You, Danforth's past, present, and future. You have, you are, you will make your community, your country, and the world a better place. And we know that each of us who belong to this Danforth community, no matter our role or our age, must do our part alongside you. Bill and Ibby would expect no less. Thank you.
I've always wanted one. Oh, you're good. Because this is the most appropriate thing that we could think of that's like a hug. Oh, I feel like one of the elders.
And you can take it on the plane. Now I feel like I have to follow Tim Bono. Well, we are almost done. But the Danforth Scholars want to sing a song for you. Esteban, I've got a microphone up here for you.
If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me.
Call me, call me if you need a friend. If you need a friend, oh, if you need a friend. If you need a friend, if you ever need a friend, call me, call me, call me, call me. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I didn't know that was going to be a cappella. All right. Say Danforths! Whether you are remote or here on campus with us this evening, thank you so much for coming and thank you for being part of the Danforth community. I dare you to adventure daringly, aspire nobly, and serve humbly. And always remember, we are family. Good night, everyone.
It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here. A dedication to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate and party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Yeah, yeah. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on! Let's celebrate. Come on now. Celebrate good times, come on! Let's celebrate. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. Baby. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. Celebrate good times, come on! Celebrate good times, come on! It's a